Okay, this is where I stopped on the calculator portion of Unit 3 test. I had done up to, I did number 6 on the last one. There's already a video from 1 through 6 already posted. I stopped because I ran out of time, so I'm starting at number 7 on the calculator portion of the Unit 3 test. All right, so we're solving for theta, and the directions say 0 to 360. Since this is just a single number, we can just go ahead and start solving. 25 cosine squared theta equals 4. Cosine squared theta equals 4/25. Cosine theta equals plus or minus square root of 4/25. Don't forget the plus or minus. So this is plus or minus 2/5. Take the arc cosine of each side, and this is where we're at. Arc cosine of 2/5, and it's 0 to 360. So cosine's positive here and here, and it's negative here and here. You basically need all 4 answers because of the plus minus. So on your calculator, we're going to first make sure we're in degrees. So press mode, make sure you're in degrees. There we go. And we're going to press arc cosine of 2/5. Our reference angle is 66.4. So this one is 66.4. That's one of my answers. This quadrant's going to be 180 minus 66.4. So we're going to take 180 minus, highlight. So 113.6. That's one of your answers. The other answer down here is going to be 180 plus this 66 answer. So it's plus twice. 246.4 degrees. And the other one is 360 minus this one for a 293.6. And that's how you do it. All 4 answers. So you punch this in your calculator. Arc cosine of positive 2/5. But positive gives you these 2 answers. The negative gives you these 2 answers. Okay, what's the GCF of this problem? Sine. So take a sine out. Like that. Set each factor equal to 0. This one's going to be sine theta equals negative 2/5, or arc sine of that. So where's sine negative? Here and here. So I'm going to have you punch in positive 2/5, but that's just going to give you a reference angle. Oh, by the way, this one's in radians. So let's switch over to radians. We're in radians. Clear this out. So we're going to type arc sine of 2/5. It's 0.41. So this is 0.41. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take pi plus 0.41. In this quadrant, we're going to take 2 pi minus 41 to get our quadrants. Because pi and 2 pi are our x-axis numbers. So pi plus, highlight, is 3.55. So one of my answers is 3.55. It said nearest 10th? Okay. Nearest 10th, 3.6. My fault. The other one is 2 pi minus this. So you go 2 pi minus, I'm going to go highlight my decimal. And that's 5.9. I think the answer in the review is wrong. So I think it says 2 something, but these are the answers for this one. Now over here, when is sine 0? Sometimes it's just nice to look at the unit circle. Sine is 0 here and here. So at 0 and pi. And 3.6 and 5. So you could also say 0 and 3.1, 3.6, and 5.9 if you wanted to go everything to the nearest 10th. But I accept pi. 0 and pi, 3.6 and 5.9. Over here, if I was doing this problem, I would add 5 cosine theta over here and subtract 9 over here. And to get 3 cosine theta equals 1. So cosine theta equals 1/3. So arc cosine is 1/3. Cosine's positive here and here. So we're going to type in second cosine of 1/3. Oops, we're supposed to be in radians, sorry. So this is 1.2. Okay, so 1.2 is one of your answers. Can you guys see that? Oh, 1.2 is one of your answers. That's cosine, that one. Arc cosine 1/3, 1.2. That's the first quadrant. To get to the second quadrant answer, you need to take 2 pi minus 1.2. 2 pi minus the previous decimal. So 5.1. Fourth quadrant answer. All right. Tony is floating in a tube in a wave pool. At 1 second, Tony reaches a maximum height of 14 meters above the bottom of the pool. At 9 seconds, Tony reaches a minimum height of 2 in the bottom pool. Sketch a graph to show Tony's motion for 17 seconds. So at 1 second, he's at a maximum height of 14. At 9 seconds, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, he is at a minimum of 2. So they went 17 seconds. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All right, so let's figure out this out. This is going to be, I'm going to say a cosine. The max is 14, the mid is 2, so there's going to be a mid. And that's the average of 14 and 2. So if you take 14 plus 2 divided by 2, that's 16 over 2, or 8. So this should be 8. Your midline should be 8. Your max should be at 14, and your min should be at 2. So what's the difference of 8 and 14 and 8 and 2? 6, you're correct. That's your amplitude. 6 is the amplitude. The vertical shift is 8. That's your mid shift. That's your midline, 8. That goes at the end. And 6 is the amplitude. So it's 8 plus 6 is 14, and 8 minus 6 is 2. That takes care of your 3 horizontal lines. Now, the period, this looks like, it's going to look something like this, okay? This is half of a period. So if half of a period is 8 seconds, the whole period is going to be 16 seconds. So if this one, if from high to low took 8, if I added 8 to 9, at 17 it should be high again. So from 1 to 17 is the period. That's 16 seconds. 16 seconds completes one full period. Because 1 to 9 is a half a period. So 16 is the full period. So you take 2 pi over 16, which is pi over 8. That goes here. Now there is a phase shift of 1 second to the right. So I would put like x minus 1 in here. That would be my equation. Writing equation represents Tony's motion. Oh, so I kind of just did. This was the equation, and here is the equation. Pi over 8, x minus 1 plus 8. 8's the midline, 6 is the amplitude. The period was 16 seconds, so I took 2 pi over 16 and got pi over 8. And if you look at the graph, it's 1 over to the right. Like it should start on the y-axis. So it started 1 to the right. So you show that, you represent that as x minus 1. Sally is riding her bike home from school and picks up a nail in her tire. The nail hits the ground every 2 seconds and reaches a maximum height of 48. Maximum height's 48. So the mid between 0 and 48 is 24. The nail hits the ground every 2 seconds. So it starts on the ground and hits the ground again after 2 seconds. So that means at 1 second it should be at its maximum, which means at a half a second it should be at its mid, and 3/4 should be at its, so it kind of looks like this. Every 2 seconds. It hits the ground every 2 seconds and reaches a maximum height of 48 centimeters. This is the graph that we need. Write an equation that represents this situation. Well, this isn't, to me, an inverted cosine. with a vertical of 24, midline, sorry, midline of 24, with an amplitude of 24. So this to me is a negative 24 out front. The period's 2 seconds, so we're going to take 2 pi over 2, which is pi, that goes here. There's no phase shift, so I'm going to rewrite that a little bit easier. So y equals negative 24 cosine of pi x plus 24. That's what I would have. Done.